Joe Worrall is furious and unhappy about not being allowed to leave Nottingham Forest to join Sheffield. Welcome to your Forest News. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest news. Coming up in today's video, we'll tell you all about our captain, or is he now an ex-captain, Joe Worrall, and what's making him so angry. We'll tell you about a defender that has actually departed, and a reject that rejected Forest. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And don't forget, if you want your officially licensed Forest products, just like I have here with my beautiful bottle that keeps my drinks cold. Happy Clapper Juice cold is beautiful. Don't forget to check out FOCO. Use code FFTV10 for 10% off anything in the store. Okay, let's kick this off and let's talk about Joseph. So Worrall clearly was going to be leaving Forest in this transfer window. The talks weren't even really that hidden. If you look at Nuno's press conference yesterday, kind of openly talked about trying to get Joe Worrall on, but trying to get the best move for him. He talked about it very professionally, said they'll do what's best for the player, the usual stuff you'd expect a manager to say about a player that's still currently on the books. However, reports are now coming out that Worrall is furious and seriously upset that he wasn't allowed to leave to go to Sheffield. Now, it wasn't that Forest didn't want him to go to Sheffield because they were looking out for him, because we all know what a dump Sheffield is. It's because Sheffield have no money. I've been saying it to you guys all transfer window. This link is heavily strong, but Sheffield cannot afford him. And they just kept coming in with loan offer after loan offer, and Forest are like, pay up or shut up. And in the end, Sheffield had to shut up. But Joe Worrall isn't seeing it like that. He's seeing it almost like a block of him moving on and getting some first team football and at least a couple of Premier League games before he has to go back to play in the Championship. So he's upset. I'll be very surprised if we see Joe Worrall near a squad, let alone the team sheet. I don't think he's going to be exiled like he was under Cooper, but clearly that friction that he's had from his bust up with Cooper it's died down, but it hasn't gone away is probably the best way to say it. I think he's frustrated, and you can understand it. Look, he's been a great servant to Forest. He's, lifted the trophy for us in the promotion season, and he's Forest born and bred. But I think he just needs to go. And he does have an outlet because Trabzon from Turkey are interested in him. Now that market's still open for another week, so the potential for him to go is there. But will Joe Worrall favour a move internationally, especially to Turkey, who just don't speak any English? Like nothing. You go to Turkey, either you speak Turkish or it doesn't happen. Unless, of course, you go into like the holiday resorts, etc. So he's going to have to make that decision. Is Turkey right for him and his family to move on to? Because now his options are narrowing with the English leagues having closed their transfer windows. He's basically got Turkey and he's got MLS, and I think Brazil would be another option. But the only club showing interest in him right now is Trabzon in Turkey. But at the moment, Joe Worrall, I personally think, needs to go, because if this frustration boils over and it starts to cause friction in the dressing room, because obviously he's going to be a popular character in there, that's not good for the club. But what do you guys think? Should Worrall leave Forest to go to Turkey, or should he stay and wait till the summer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Okay, let's move on to a defender who has definitely gone, and it's to Turkey. And that is Serge Aurier. Aurier has officially left Nottingham Forest for a whopping fee of 100,000. Yes, 100,000. That's all it took. To be honest, the initial talks with Galatasaray were that it was going to be free. So 100k is 100k. I wouldn't say no to 100k. Would you lot say no to 100k? But in the scheme of football, obviously that's pennies. So he's gone. He's 31 years old. He didn't have long left on his contract anyway. His salary was quite decent at Nottingham Forest. So I think, again, this is not a bad deal for Forest. And I think he'll do fine at Galatasaray. Apparently, the thing that swayed him to go to Galatasaray was his international teammate, Wilfried Zaha, who's out there. And they haven't got a bad team. It's a really good atmosphere in that stadium as well. And they've played Champions League football this season. So he still can have a few years of, you know, European level football within him. And I've loved him. I've loved him at Forest. I think he's been a character. Last season, for me, one of the players of the seasons, one of the signings of the season, because we paid nothing for him. And it just hasn't worked out this year. His performance levels dropped almost immediately from the start of the season to the point where he was eventually dropped from the team. But I wish him the best of luck. I hope he has a successful time out there. And I just hope he carries on smiling and gets up to all his antics, because they're always great fun to watch. But are you okay with Aurier leaving? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, you're not going to like it, but we are going to talk about goalkeepers and about goalkeepers that rejected Nottingham Forest in the transfer window. We told you about the Liverpool one, we told you about Sam Johnston and about another 30, and another one that emerged, and it was reported, I think, in The Athletic, was that De Gea rejected Nottingham Forest. He was not interested at all in coming to Forest on a short-term deal. Apparently the deal was to get him in for the second half of the season. He would have, if you like, been the Navas of this year, but he wasn't interested in it. And it kind of makes you wonder, when a reject rejects us, what does that say about what the offer was like? So I don't know what the wages that were offered were. It wouldn't have been extortionate. Forest can't do that with the current climate that we find ourselves in. Remember, De Gea was one of the most highly paid players at Manchester United on a reported 350k a week. But I'm sure Forest would have gone, if I had to guess, maybe to 100k, seeing that he was a free agent and there would have been no transfer fees involved. But of course, there would be things like signing on bonuses. So things like that could have been what stalled it, because signing on bonuses, you have to pay them. So De Gea said no, Sam Johnston said no, and in the end, we ended up whittling our way down to Matt Sells. And a little thing on Matt Sells, everyone's got themselves into a fury and a panic over this, because Nuno said in his press conference that they still haven't secured a work permit for him to play. Now, this isn't like if you and I were coming to England and needed a work permit and do your applications and all that. Obviously, these sports ones are a lot quicker and more fast-tracked as well. So I don't think there's any panic. I still think he will make his debut against Bournemouth this weekend. Still plenty of time to get the permit confirmed and through the door. It's not going to be that much of an issue, I don't think. But if he doesn't get it, how would you feel if Turner ends up between the sticks on Sunday against Bournemouth? That makes me worry. But that's the kind of latest finalizing deals that are coming through on the transfer window. I still do expect, touching back on Joe Worrall, him to leave. It just makes more sense. There may be one or two others we see go to Turkey, maybe to the MLS. There's still talks that Origi will end up at LA. Forest may need to cancel that loan deal, send him back to AC, and then he can go off to the MLS. But we will keep you posted on all of that. If you've enjoyed the video and the update and haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. Make sure to go and check the Footy Network out. We've got a new video coming on this afternoon that covers all the other footballing stories that are hot on the press right now. Please do subscribe to it. We do need your support to help that one grow. And thank you to everyone who's subscribed already. And as always, come on, you Reds.